For the first time in more than 2 decades, Old Town in the Royal BC Museum has a new exhibit. It's a rare recreation of Cumberland's photography studio from the early 1900s. Not only does it have vintage camera equipment and photography on display, but it's also a rare snapshot in the Comox Valley.
So we're standing in a recreation of my great-grandfather's photo studio, Sanjiro Hayashi. He immigrated to Canada in the early 1900s, then moved over to Vancouver Island and ended up settling in Cumberland. His work really helps tell some of the stories of the minority communities that were part of Cumberland, working in the coal mines and at the lumber mill, and it's a piece of BC history that isn't often told.
In the Hayashi Photo Studio, the first brand new exhibit to open in Old Town in about 25 years. And you know, the kind of storytelling that we hope to continue doing and sharing, kind of more and more diverse stories. There are a few original artifacts in the space. Studio camera, so what would have been used in a space like this. And then we've also got a field camera.
Yeah, I think it was definitely segregated in terms of, all the Japanese people lived in Japantown and the Chinese people lived in Chinatown. But through these negatives that have been restored and kept over the years, it really helps truly shine a lens on who these people were and what their stories were. I mean, it's incredibly important because especially with the Japanese internment that happened in World War II, there was so much stuff of Japanese belongings that were entirely discarded, that people had to leave with whatever they could carry. So I'm grateful that there were people that were holding on to these and understood the significance of them, because without that preservation, we wouldn't have this history to be able to tell. Personally for the Hayashi family, it is just amazing to have our name associated with this and to tell the story of my great-grandfather and how he was able to document some of this. But I think more importantly, through his work, again, just being able to highlight what the experience was, in particular for the minority communities, because that's not a story that we get to hear very often.
This Week in History, brought to you by the Royal BC Museum, bringing British Columbia's stories together.